everyone. I'm here again with one of my female founders, and today we're here with Ruth. And because she is much better than I at presenting herself, I'm going to hand over to her and she's going to tell you who she is and what she does. Over to you.
Thanks, Fran. I'm Ruth Hartnoll, everyone. I run a creative digital agency called J&R. We are actually currently in the midst of going through a rebrand, but that is now going to be launching in May, thanks to the impact of coronavirus. But what we do at J&R essentially is 3 areas of expertise. So we do content marketing, brand identity, and user experience. The reason we focus in on those 3 areas is because the founders of the company, which is myself and then my partner, Greg, he's a user experience expert and I'm a content marketing expert. And we work with a host of really brilliant designers in order to deliver the brand identity work. But they're the areas that excite us most about digital marketing. If you wanted us to do web development, we can, but we only do it if it makes sense in the context of the problem that we're solving. So yeah, we pitch ourselves as sort of content identity and experience experts. That's how we help people.
And for everyone who always compliments me about my new branding, they are the ones who did it. So now you know. So how were things before coronavirus and how are things now?
So it's an interesting one for us because we have literally just the other day it happened. I got a notification on my phone, but we've just hit the 2-year mark. So it was our 2-year anniversary the other day. We're entering our 3rd year now as a business. So just at the point that we've got out of the awkward startup phase, we've entered the extremely difficult coronavirus phase, which doesn't exist in any other business model that I've been told to look at. So it's a unique challenge that everyone's having to face together at the moment. I really feel for startups that are much earlier than us because we've had sort of like a leg up by working with lots of really wonderful companies for the last 2 years. So prior to coronavirus, things are going really well. As I imagine it was for some other people. We were working and continue to work with really wonderful people in things like profit for purpose companies and health tech and all that kind of thing. So I'm really proud of the case studies we've got together. I'm proud of all the stuff that we've done so far. And when the rebrand launches, you'll be able to see a lot of that work come to fruition, which we haven't been able to share it yet, but we will be able to soon. So prior to coronavirus, really positive. We'd grown from a team of just myself 2 years ago to a team of 6. We'd grown really quickly and we'd got really good people in the company. So yeah, we were feeling extremely positive actually.
Yeah.
We were in a really great position. So yeah, that's how things were pre-coronavirus.
And what happened then?
Then what happened? Then what happened was coronavirus, as everyone is aware. And the way that's impacted us compared to other businesses that have really serious challenges with that, people like in the entertainment industry and food and drink, people that own venues, in comparison, the impact, relatively speaking, has been minimal compared to those types of businesses. We continue to work with people that we had project work scheduled in with. The only thing that's changed perhaps is the way they're paying us. We've had a few people get in contact that have said, we'd appreciate if we could split this out over a few more payments. That's obviously fine because we've had to say that to other people as well. We've had to stop our rent, for example. But I suppose that's had an impact. We've had to furlough 2 members of staff, which has been very difficult because we've gone now from being a team of 6 to being a team of like 3 in the space of like a week. So my workload has changed quite drastically. The stuff that I was focusing on, I'm now focusing on stuff I was focusing on 2 years ago. So yeah. I think mentally that sort of does quite a bit for you because you feel like you're making all this headway and then something as dramatic as coronavirus can happen and then you suddenly feel like you're almost back to square one, but you're not. It's very difficult. Yeah. It's very easy to think that you've taken a massive step back when you haven't. But that is certainly how it feels at the moment. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
Me.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people, particularly in the startup phase that I've spoken to, have just been like, it feels like we're back to where we were, but we've got all this evidence, but we can't do anything with it. That's how it feels for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think furloughing staff, having to really think about cash flow seriously, that's been a big one. And being resilient and considerate of the people we're working with at the moment. That's also both an easy thing to do and a hard thing to do, because you're like, I'm obviously not going to demand payment from you because you literally haven't got the money, and neither do we. So it's like, I think trying to be as reasonable and moral as you can at the moment is both easy and difficult. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
yeah, it is. I am. We met when we both started our business. So we started our businesses basically the same day, and I got the same notification you got the other day. Because I put it on my calendar to say, you know, you've done it. You've run your business for two years, and I've got the notification. I was like, meh.
Yeah, I know. It was a very non-event for me. I had the notification come up because it was like, oh, you posted this on Instagram, and the post that I'd done, it was literally like 2 days before I was leaving my job I had at the time. And I bought this like cute stationery to be like, yay, I'm a girl boss and I'm running my own company. I'm finally doing the thing I wanted to do since I was 5. And I got the notification. I was like, oh, for God's sake! Like, I'm Instagram.
I know. No, I actually actively put a notification on my calendar for it to show up on that day and tell me I was cool because I did it. And I was like, yeah, that's not the right day. Move it for a year.
Positivity of yourself 2 years ago. It's just like,
I know. Mind blowing, isn't it? So, you said you had to do a lot of changes, and obviously your workload is tripled, probably.
Yeah.
So, did you have to change the way you do things, or are you doing things the same way? Like physically do things?
Yeah, so our processes basically have stayed largely the same. I think because of the type of work we do, we work with people who are remote, we work with people who are freelancers a lot. So us having conversations like this isn't unusual. It's obviously increased. We would always choose face-to-face over virtual calls every time, really. Because I think one of the things that people buy into, particularly when you're a very small business, is your team, and you need your team in front of people for them to feel like they trust you. One of the biggest barriers small businesses have at the beginning is you've got no evidence, so you've got no trust, and the only thing you're selling is yourself. So I think the thing that got us all of our work for the last 2 years was us turning up to meetings, us going to networking events and making our name known. All of that's off the table, and so we're, like I said before, we're in a fairly fortunate position in that we're not brand new. We didn't decide to do it 2 months ago, we did it 2 years ago, and we have got connections and we have got networks we can lean on. In terms of other processes, it's mostly the same, because a lot of it, we use a lot of digital tools to run the company. The biggest thing that's had an impact is like an energy in the room. I find it really difficult not being in the room with the same people every day. So that's hard. And I think as well, like just being able to have face-to-face creative meetings, creative virtual meetings just don't happen. They don't work, I don't think. And doing it, we tried to do some like brainwriting the other day virtually. That was really difficult because it was like, you just sort of sit next to someone normally and sort of see what they're writing and cheat a bit, and then it would help your idea. You just can't do that in a virtual setting, it sucks. So I think that's probably the stuff we've had to adopt most, and I think that's a lot of what other digital business owners have struggled with. We were doing a session the other day for Make that's just got some coverage today actually in Business Live, which is great, and Paul Corcoran from Agent was saying the same thing. He was like, I'm just finding it really difficult not being in the same room as the team and thinking about their mental well-being and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely the hardest thing for me. It's just not being around my team who I adore.
Yeah.
With them all the time. So yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah.
No, I know. For me, obviously, I don't have. I only have a team of one plus me, and we're mostly working remote. But it's for me, it's the clients, it's the face-to-face with clients, because I meet them, almost all of them, except obviously for the ones who are in Italy and in France. But the ones who are here, I meet them all the time. Some of them I meet every week. So obviously the work is very different, and obviously there have been clients who just went on a break, on a coronavirus break. So and it is, and for me, one of the things is also the not mental, but the heaviness of all of this sitting in front of the laptop all day. I realize now that I was not used to it anymore because of so many face-to-face things that I was doing. At the end of the day, I stand up and I just think, I can't. Which reminds me, I should be wearing my glasses right now, but we're not going to tell anyone. A lot of change.
I found a very similar thing where, like, we've got really wonderful networks we're involved in, and other people are being very good at setting meetings and being like, let's get on a call tonight, let's talk about what you're struggling with, let's help each other out. I'm very fortunate to be in a lot of those networks that offer that support. I've found in a very similar way to you, I'm not the person actively setting those meetings because I'm finding it very difficult to stay on the computer all day and stay engaged. It's the last way to engage me. My normal day before would have been half a day at the laptop at most. Other bits would be like being in meetings with the team and being face to face, or going to meet people and set up conversations or run workshops. So much of my day before, that's probably the most drastic change, is being around people. And for someone who's naturally actually quite antisocial, I was surprised by how much of that I've missed.
It's the same for me.
I
just thought, I'm fine by myself. I don't, and instead now I'm just like, no. I think it's also because gym sessions have gone on Zoom, and everything has gone on Zoom, and my sisters and my mom, they were video calls normally because they live in another country, but now everything is like adding up to this video thing, and it's some days I just go, no.
I've had to put a ritual in now where I'm like, going forward from this, like next week, I'm only doing video calls on certain days, and other days I'm just going to be like, I'm not doing calls that day. I just want to focus on work, get it done and stop, and go do something else that doesn't involve a screen. I think sort of setting those things up will help with your mental health quite a bit. So if you're like, Thursday is video call day, and you'll sort of get your head into it, and you'll be like, right, 3 at most I do 3 video calls in a day, and I'm like, I'm not doing any more because it's going to put me in a bad mood, and I'm not getting anything done, so it's counterproductive. Like, that's one of the things that I've struggled with most. I learned a fact the other day that your brain doesn't know the difference between seeing someone on a video call and being in the room with them. And I find that staggering because I have a completely different feeling about someone being on a video call with them. But apparently the areas of your brain that light up are exactly the same, which is nuts. And I'm like, but I feel very different to being in a room with someone to being on a video call with them. So it's weird.
Confusing. We'll come out of this really confused.
Very.
Right, so let's close, like I do with every other female founder, with 3 positives.
So my positives would be, I get to spend a lot more time with the dog. The dog is in the office, actually, probably about 3 days a week, but it's nice just being around him constantly. He's literally on the floor right now, passed out from being sat in the window seat, and he's got too hot. But yeah, like, being around the dog has been lovely. I've had to do sort of like a temporary living situation at the moment. I live with a housemate anyway, but my partner came and moved in, so that's been really nice, having more time with my partner and seeing how he works and seeing how we can help each other out. That stuff that's on the wall in the background, that's his play he's writing at the moment. So I literally went 2 weeks before I could run a workshop. I was like, right, in 2 weeks, let's do a workshop on something. So So that's been positive. It's been good having interaction more with family. That's been great. And I suppose the other positive is like reassessing where you spend your money. I think everyone's money must be so confused sat in their bank accounts right now, because it's like, you're not spending me on coffee every 5 minutes. And the stuff that I realised would actually make me feel better was I spent loads of money on the garden. I was like, I'm going to be at home for ages. We need an outside space. So we bought like really silly things, like we bought a fire pit and we got a swing chair, and that's drastically improved my mental health. I
love the swing chair.
Yeah, like that is like done wonders. And I've told everyone I've had a video call with, I'm like, I'm going to go sit in the swing chair after this. So like that's been a conversation starter as well. So yeah, I think for me, the positives have been like spending time with family and having like really good quality time with them actually, and reassessing how I'm spending my money. That's been quite enlightening. So
fabulous. I like that. I really like that. Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If people want to get in touch, where do they find you?
So if you would like to hear about any of our services for content, identity and experience, you can get in contact with us, hello@jnragency.co.uk. That email goes straight to my email, so it's the same as emailing me. So feel free to get in contact with us with our generic one. If you go to our website, jnragency.co.uk, that contact email is at the top of the page, so just get in contact with us there.
And social media? Are you there? I lost you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
Social media wise, where do they find you?
So if you'd like to interact with us, we're really active on Twitter, and it's @jnragency. Exactly the same for Instagram as well. We're most active on Twitter and my LinkedIn. So if you'd like to connect with me, it's just my name. There's not many other Ruth Hartnolls that spell their name the way I spell it, so you should be able to find me quite easily.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you so much. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.